Bonjour, everybody. I am recording this in southern France in a village called Jonzac. And the reason I'm doing that is because, I'm a woo-woo person. I'm always looking to up my manifestation game because I have a big renovation ahead of me. I'm like, okay, we need to start generating bigger cash flow. I had a reading with an astrocartographer last year.
Hello.
And one of the things that she told me was that my money wealth line is in southern France. Probably would have been better for me to buy a chateau here, but yeah, I digress. Anyway, it's above Bordeaux, it cuts through.
You remember the Pluto-Jupiter parent? This is the best line.
And then there's another, I don't even know what they're called, but this thing called Jupiter, whatever, blah, 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 blah. It's kind of a transit, I guess, is in this area, and they're kind of crossing during this time. She said, go down there, stay for 6 days, and they'll start to trigger some stuff. I'm all for it. So I was looking and looking and looking, and I couldn't find an Airbnb that I liked or a hotel that I liked. But my friend Cecilia, who is a YouTuber, her whole family is.
The Drew crew has united. This turned out perfect. We did it.
She has an awesome channel called An Artist's Life, and she's great at finding not only incredible stays, but restaurants, epic aesthetic. I told her I was having a hard time. So she said, I'm on it. She found this adorable B&B. It's been designed beautifully by Rodolphe, Rodolphe, but he said it's Rudolph. Rudolph.
Did you get all of your artwork at Brocante and
on Brocante, on eBay, on Le Bon Coin, sometimes to antique dealers?
Rodolphe and Christophe. Christophe is a retired patissier.
Patissier?
So I love this place, and it's been a really nice respite.
Gorgeous.
While this other stuff was going on. So the other thing that just happened was that I had a video go viral on TikTok. It is right now at 2.8 million views, that one. And then it's just made the rest of my posts also not go viral, but have much more traffic. I'm dealing with a ton of comments and questions. So I thought what I'd do is a Q&A this week, and then pick up the regular vlogging next week. So last month, I asked my very loyal YouTube following to ask me some questions. And even though I've probably answered a lot of this stuff in earlier episodes, I think it's always nice to sort of reboot and have one episode where people can come and kind of get the lay of the land. So I'm going to go through as many questions as I can, rapid fire. I'll probably have to do a part 2 or part 3. They're just questions flooding in from all over. So not only did TikTok go viral, but so did Instagram. If we could only get YouTube to pick up the steam. So I'm hoping that if you haven't subscribed yet, you will. It's free. Okay, from Marilyn. Short version of the business plan. Marilyn, hi, thank you. So the short and long-term business plan concept is to get the chateau ready for exterior events only, tented events, so that the chateau becomes the backdrop. So that means cleaning and repairing the roof, all of the decorative objects on the roof and the facade for spring of 2026. Exterior events only first, which include weddings and the princess party concept, which I will talk about in greater detail as we get ready for it. Also photo shoots for nuptials, engagement, things like that. It includes sort of a multi-prong approach. There won't be any rooms inside the chateau ready to occupy for God knows how long. There is so much work that needs doing, starting with the septic. I'm getting bids for that. It has to be replumbed, new electric everywhere. Kitchen needs to be renovated. All the bathrooms have to be gutted and renovated and repositioned. It's a huge amount of work, but it's structurally sound. So that part's good. But there's still a lot of preparation. I have the as-built plans, but I don't have all of my future projected plans done. So exterior first, then eventually it'll be open for stays. Potentially it'll be a chambre d'hôte down the road, although we're talking only really 5 bedrooms. So I'm thinking it'll probably lean more toward a smaller retreat setup, maybe a little bit more upscale. We'll see. All right, so as far as decorating is concerned, I've done a lot of directing, creating sets, and designing my own houses. The property speaks to you and it will tell you what it wants to be. I will always infuse it with my own style. It will be maximalist. It's not going to be minimalist. I don't really have that kind of jam. I can appreciate it. I can stay in a really serene, neutral space, but my personal aesthetic is more layer on layer on layer with beautiful materials. It will have a lot of color. There's no question, because Chateau can really do that. Each room can have its own personality. You'll see that done in a lot of properties. There are ways to get continuity through it with, style and materials, but as far as tone and wallpaper and fabrics and things like that, each room will have its own personality and its own color palette. All right, so this is from Highland and Golden Doodles. I'm sorry if I don't remember your names. Literally, I try, go back to everyone's profile, and I'm like, God, what's her name? What's her name? What's her name or his name? But everyone has like different handles, and it's really hard for me to keep them together. And then people are contacting me on other platforms, and they have different handles on different platforms. So often, like, who was it? Ronnie, I think, reached out to me recently, or Veronica, I can't remember who, but I was like, who is this? Anyway, okay, so did I sell my house in Georgia? Yes, you will see that coming up. Had to. Gonna need every penny to do this. Does my daughter plan to come and visit? My daughter, Ruby, I think she means, is she gonna live there? I don't foresee her moving to France, but she's been once.
This is a little insane. Oh my God, how romantic.
Right? Juliet balcony. Yay!
I feel like Lady Gaga.
So pretty.
And she's coming at Christmas, and she's coming with her friend Margot. So that'll be fun. We're going to do the Christmas markets, and they also want to use it as a crash pad so that they can, travel around Europe as well. So we'll see. I'm happy to be the place that my kid and her friends want to come and hang out as often as they want. That would make me really, really happy. Tradespeople, will I use English, French, or even another country? I think it's going to be a mix of who is easiest to get along with, best price, and is committed to the project. I think what's really cool right now is I'm starting to get more visibility, is that I'm getting people who are offering me things in either trade or sponsorship. That is going to be the make it or break it about how I approach this project, so that I can do it at a level that it needs to be done. I'm not a DIY person. I will have to get in there and get my hands dirty, no question. But I am not someone who's going to be, sanding down every surface and that kind of thing, because I want it done at a high quality and I don't have those skills. So I will develop some skills. I have to, painting wallpaper and things like that. And obviously the decorating piece. But I want to have really high quality tradespeople, because I'm going to do this once and I want to do it right. This one I get a lot is what's happening with the guardhouse, the little cottage. It's so cute. Are you going to rent it out? I have a couple of concepts.
Super duper weird, because the ceiling, they did this. I don't know why, but they added this whole thing on, and it's got two different roof lines. This will all come out and you'll see.
Boat.
Yeah.
One, I was going to restore it first. It was going to be my first thing so that I could live in it while the chateau was being restored. I changed my mind on that. I will want to make it really, really excellent, and I will spend too much money on it and I won't get a return on that investment. I think it's better that I put my money into the chateau first, and then as I get going and I really assess how much it's going to take and how much is coming in and what kind of support I can get, then I'll pivot. I want it to be adorable. I want it to be an open floor plan, and ideally, the princess experience concept, it would be the costume cottage. And that is where the kids would be greeted. They would go first into the costume cottage. They would assume their princess personality for the day, the evening, the weekend, whatever it's going to be. And in that costume cottage, they get transformed, and then they get taken by a little tiny carriage to the chateau, and then the horses go to the stables. I don't know how much of this I'll use, but having it be the costume cottage and a 1-bedroom apartment is kind of the best use of it. So then I can use it as a event location station, and then also as accommodation as needed, either for me or for renting it out separately or for overflow from a bridal party. Either way, it will be gutted and made really, really cute. You guys will see coming up what I'm doing in order to tackle the maintenance. People are concerned about it. It's no joke. With all due respect to the woman who lived there before me, now in hindsight, when I look at how hard it is to maintain, she was doing a great job. It is hard and it's big. So I have one robot mower. I bought a ride-on mower. You'll meet her soon. And then I have Vince, who you will also meet soon. Hilarious British grounds yard handyman kind of. He does a lot of things.
Hey, you see the front of the tractor?
Oh my God!
Okay, this one is from Lori, and she asked so many questions, but the last one was, do you scare the locals? And I thought that was so funny that I have to talk about that. I think maybe a little bit. I don't think that I scare them necessarily, but they certainly are curious. And I have received some press. So I think that most of the people in my village and in the surrounding area know that I'm there and know that I'm probably more ostentatious, more outrageous, a big personality. Whether that scares them or not, I don't know. I mean, I think I'm harmless. So this one's from Ronnie, and Ronnie is super, super supportive and has been following me from the beginning. Thank you, Ronnie. Shout out. With the laws about language changing, how am I going to approach that? In 2026, they are changing. I need an A2. It's not that crazy difficult. I'm not there yet, but I think I can get there. I have a year to do it. From what I understand, you have to provide a certificate that you have passed that exam. That should suffice. I think I can get there. I am getting slightly better at my comprehension. I can understand ever so slightly more than I did even a few months ago. That is to be expected. It is the thing that has me the most detached from my experience here. And it's the thing that I wish I had taken more seriously. Somebody asked in the questions, what advice would you give? If I could go back and do it again, I would have taken the language learning way more seriously. I thought I could wing it. I thought I would be able to absorb it. I thought that I would be faster at it. I thought I could retain it. That just hasn't been true. It may be because I'm so overstretched and overstressed with doing everything myself, but it is the most important thing that I didn't do. I did a lot of other prep and a ton of research on every front. I knew that it was important. I just thought it wasn't going to be as hard as it was for me to get. And then as far as advice for other people thinking about doing this, the area is really important. And for me, it wasn't the most important thing. It was the chateau, and the chateau had to speak to me, and this one did, and this one's mine, and this is where I am, and I'm making a life here. But if you are remote, which I am, I do have a village close by, but it's not a big city where I can get all of my shopping needs met and just have the cultural thing. In hindsight, I think it has a lot more impact and importance. The other thing is I'm an easy button pusher. This is a daunting thing to take on. So if and when I had the opportunity to get help, I did. I hired people to help me with immigration. I hired, as you know, Ben to find the property.
Amazing. Yeah. It ticks so many boxes.
Crazy, Mom.
Yeah.
I wanted a front gate. I wanted an alley of trees. I wanted a staircase. Check.
It ticks a lot of boxes.
Beautiful. It's lovely, Ben.
Like I said, when I saw this, I was like, Morgan, I just instantly thought of you.
It's gorgeous.
I hired people for my insurance needs. I had car buying support. I'll share all of that stuff with you in the future, but I knew that I would lose it if I had to do that all myself. It was just an impossible task, not to mention packing up your entire existence and house and moving to another country. It's already stressful enough. And if you can get help and afford to get it. Okay, this one's funny. Mickey D's always cracks me up. So yeah, how many pairs of sunglasses do you own? Dude, I have no idea.
It's a double sunglass Sunday, 'cause I don't wanna see
Glasses.
Work it, sister.
I think they're good.
No idea. Okay, for Roombox Live, do I plan to have people live at the chateau? In the beginning, I will have a volunteer program. I'm going to have to. There's just no way I can do all of this. And people are so nice and I get so many offers. I have to figure out how to vet everybody because that's nutty. Stranger just saying, I want to come help you.
Get 'em down, everybody come and clap your hands.
I did apply for Workaway and I got rejected actually. France has really tightened its regulation around free labor. So you just have to be super careful on how that's perceived. And although people really want to work, they see me busting my butt and want to help. And I so need that and I so appreciate it. France looks at it, like you're getting free labor and not an experience. So it has to be a cultural exchange. And the big problem I'm having right now is I just don't have the bandwidth to extend the cultural part because I just barely keep it up myself. I don't see that I will have anybody living on the grounds long term, only when I'm gearing up for things, because it's really only 5 bedrooms. And then once I have an apartment and stuff like that in the other buildings, but that's down the road. So I don't foresee anyone living with me, certainly during the season, because the season will be spring into early fall. And then the winter is basically down because it rains a lot. Something to think about. Holly asked, is there AC? Nope. There is no AC because it's actually not needed. The walls are about 3 feet thick, stone, and it's quite cool temperature-wise up in the Mayenne department in Northwest France. So it's not a hot climate, although we just had a heat wave. So it was a couple of weeks where the lawn was entirely brown. And it actually didn't get that hot inside. I don't open my windows a ton because we do have a lot of flies. Chateau flies and biting things. So unfortunately, I can really only open them first thing in the morning. And then pretty soon it's like, oh, what's happening? Okay. Scrappy Soul Sister. Hi. Triple S, I call her. Which are going to be your priority? My priorities have shifted the longer I've stayed at the Chateau. I was going to just start going at it from top down. I still have to do that. I still have to get the roof repaired. It doesn't need a lot of repair, but it does need some. And it cleaned. It's just filthy. And then there's, the stuff hanging that needs repaired. That's priority, as is the cleaning of the facade. Getting the grounds so that the grounds right around the Chateau that will be the backdrop for events is looking great. And I'm going to have to do the fosse pretty soon. And that's the septic. And that's going to be a big groundwork thing. And, there's no reason for me to start cleaning the outside, only to then disrupt the ground. So priorities are the ugly stuff, as per usual, trying to get the outside looking good. And then while I'm doing that, I'm simultaneously getting kitchen plans worked up and how I'm going to lay out the bedrooms and bathrooms. And then I'll just start going at it to the things that are most important, which is I need to live there. I need to love it. Right now, I'm still living in the dining room. Oops. Yeah, it's 2:00 in the morning. I'm wide awake and El Destructo has been on site. And I'm using the kitchen toilet and like one of the upstairs, the bathtub and the kitchen sink to brush my teeth. And it's a nightmare. It's not a nightmare. It's still a Chateau, but I need to be able to take better care of myself. And I can't do that right now the way that I'm living. So getting comfortable is going to be top priority so that I can fill the well. A lot of questions about Ben.
Oh my God.
Me and my friends, we just want to have fun together. Where is the party? Cause we are not ready to sleep. Nothing can stop us, we're sitting on top of the world. Me and my friends, yeah, me and my friends.
So you took one for the team. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Tick. Happy to be of service. I don't want to do this.
What just happened, man?
So the most important meeting of the whole thing for months, I had chocolate on my nose. Honestly, of the hundreds of chateaus that I looked at over the last months, I honestly think this is the best one.
And we're back.
Nice.
Okay. Is he coming back? Are we going to see Ben again? Of course. The band is back together. Ben and I are lifelong friends now. Granted, he lives in Provence and he has a thriving business and lots going on. But we are looking at some projects to work on together in the future now that there seems to be some eyeballs on the content. He's great. And he's great on camera, and I love being with him, and we crack each other up. He's one of my favorite humans. Yeah, he's just awesome. Devona asked me, do you have a particular period or style that you are going to decorate in? The house was built in 1891, so this is the Belle Epoque period. So I've been doing a lot of research recently on the Belle Epoque, and it won't look like a museum, that's for sure. It will have my personal flair, and it will have some pieces collected along its life, and that is imperative to me. that it doesn't just look like it was decorated in 1891 and then they walked away. Very cool thing happened recently. A girl reached out to me on Instagram and said that her mother grew up there, moved there when she was a teenager, when her father, this girl's grandfather, bought it. I believe he bought it in 1974. And so they sent me a little tiny snippet of video from that time period. She actually shot video of the TV screen because the VHS that it was on got stuck inside the machine. So she was afraid to pull it out. So she videotaped the TV screen. I'm just grateful to have it. But what it showed me is that the ceilings, which I've been unsure about in the dining room and the salon, are indeed original, I believe. I feel like that got confirmed, and they look like they were the same color. We'll see. But I can't wait to meet them and maybe get just more information from them. Oh, the other thing was the stairwell was wallpapered, very dramatically wallpapered. So this painted faux stone, which I was told did happen in the last 20 years with the previous owner, is indeed their handiwork. It did have some beautiful pieces of furniture in there. It had much more of a chateau feel as far as the furnishings are concerned. And anyway, I'm excited to digitize that, see if I can't salvage that tape. Oh gosh, it'd be awesome. Okay, so from Rachel, after ripping out the carpet, are you going to focus on that floor first? Yes. Right now, Vince and I are tearing out all of the insulation in the attic and demoing all that plaster up there, so that we can reveal the framework for roof repairs. That's a dirty job. That has to happen first. Once that's cleaned up, then I'll put some insulation on the floor temporarily until I can get to renovation on the attic, which is not top priority. It can't be. Ooh, Jay, are you a list girl? Yeah, I used to be. Now I'm a ChatGPT girl, I think. I do need to get organized. I'm totally ADHD, if you haven't already figured that out. And I can retain a lot of information, but my memory is definitely not what it used to be. But it really needs an assistant. I need someone who's like right by me. But yeah, I need to figure out a better system. And Bayan, I don't know if it's Bayan or Bay, asked, are you going to ship your stuff from the US? Yes. And I've actually already done that. I'm delayed on the vlogs for all kinds of reasons. I'm doing this all by myself and it's daunting. And I have so much good footage of every single phase and every single step. I don't want to cut anything out. And my hope was, even though I am delayed with the vlogs, that by the time I hit a stride and I had a larger audience, then those people would have enough content to go back and get the entire story versus me just jumping over all this great stuff that I've already shot. So that is my goal. I'm going to carry on. I don't want to compromise or sacrifice my vision for how I'm arcing the story and how I'm telling the story. It's one thing to have a small group of people who have been with you from the beginning. They're up to speed. They know what's what. But when someone just kind of comes in and is like, wait, what? Who are you? I can point them back to the beginning and it will make perfect sense.
8 weeks. That's all I'm taking.
Merci beaucoup.
All of the things that I'm doing and the way that I'm doing them will be shared here. And that's important to me. It's important to be narrative and have it be linear. This is back to Highland Golden Doodle. She had so many great questions. That's Robin. Her name's Robin. I knew that. I've started to share some of my past career experience in shorts on the various platforms because I did share some of that. I think the first episode, a little bit about my background, but it is interesting to people. And so they're asking, do I plan to share all of these previous careers that I've had and the stories about those careers? And absolutely, you wouldn't be able to stop me really because I'm such a storyteller and I have so many hilarious stories. Okay, from Claire, she says, I'm brave. Thank you. Thank you, Claire. Jeez. And crazy, apparently. A lot of people asking me about finances. Not so much here in YouTube comments, but in TikTok and Instagram. I think it's normal for people to be curious about what things cost, especially when something seems this grand. I have been cautioned about sharing too much about my financial life. My instinct originally was just like, tell everybody exactly what everything costs. Part of me really still wants to do that and demystify it. At the same time, when you have 3 million people watching something, the plot thickens and it changes. What I think I'll do, and maybe Ben and I will do this together, is a more intimate vetted Q&A live session that is more private for people who are not just curious, but serious about, can I do something like this and what does it cost? I want to be able to pull back the curtain as best I can and help people so that they can see their future. I have people in my life who have done that for me, and I want to be able to do that for other people. Just stay tuned for that. And I will be doing stuff in future where I'm offering my own wisdom and guidance about manifestation and how I do it. Yeah, right. If you looked at this on your desktop every day of the life that you're trying to create, you'd be inspired. You'd be inspired. I hope you're inspired. Things that have worked for me and things that I believe, because I would like to help other people do it. Why not? Why not get everything that you desire? Let's go. Okay, speaking of, last question. Am I going to do Patreon? I've had people say, I would totally support you on that, blah, 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 blah. I do see a world in which that could potentially happen, but not till I have a large enough audience to make it make sense, because it's another job, more content, more responsibility, because that's a paywall and people are behind it and they're supporting you and they have expectation about what you deliver. I'm an overachiever. I want to be able to do it really well. So yes, maybe, possibly, probably when I have a large enough audience and a different approach. Keep you posted, but thank you for wanting to support me. How you can support me is to help me grow this channel. Subscribing is free. Sharing it with the people that you know and love is also free. And if you are compelled to do that, that's how you can really, really help me, because this YouTube thing has been part of my financial strategy before I bought the chateau. I believed that I could be good at it. I believed that I could grow probably faster than I am. I still believe in it. I'll keep doing it until it becomes unsustainable, and it needs to be bigger in order to be sustainable. So that's it. Woo! I'll be so surprised if anybody watches this, because it was long-winded. But thank you so much for being here, for caring, and for supporting me in any way you can. And I'll just say thank you. Merci beaucoup.